Welcome to the Advertising Forum. This is episode 4 of our identity series, sponsored by Intent IQ.
Today, we are joined again by Roy Scheddy, chairman at Intent IQ, and Gil Dudkowitz, the CEO of Start.io, both of whom were with us on episode 3. So I'm looking forward to picking up our conversation from last time. Roy, Gil, thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having us again.
Thank you for having us.
In our last episode, we discussed some sell-side identity challenges. Could each of you maybe share some recent success stories, specifically around unique deployment that really highlights how publishers can unlock value? I'll start with Gil on this one. Can you give me some examples of some of that unlock you've seen for publishers that you've worked with?
Yeah, I can definitely do so. And, this industry, you can actually measure everything and anything, or almost anything and everything. And you definitely expect it to do so. So, for example, we went up with a publisher named Lihu. He's a game developer, a large one. And with our SDK and with the Intent IQ, we kind of saw a double-digit uplift from the numbers that we've seen before. Okay, can't really go specifically on the exact numbers, but it was double-digit, and we definitely measure it with and without. And we saw the impact on the CPM. And that was for us a very nice success.
Roy, from your perspective, where you sit at Intent IQ, have you seen any impact to your clients in regarding unlocking of some of that value?
Oh, absolutely. On a high level, the inventory, we see different revenue increase percentage-wise based on the inventory type. We see it's anywhere from 10% to 50% to 150% revenue increase. On average, across approximately 100 clients, we see 40% revenue lift on average. This is something that we see typical, but it requires work and integration and great partnership.
Roy, from your perspective at Intent IQ and as a chairman, where do you see your solution and market being different? Like, what is the true differentiation that sets Intent IQ apart from others in the market?
We are a technology at heart company. For us, it's all about innovation. Large firms, if you're at Google, you dominate the market just with your market share. For a company as small as ours, it's innovation, it's our patents. We have been innovating for over 15 years. And even though I invented probabilistic cross-device, that's one of the many things I invented, I can tell you this is not enough. We continue to invest in this technology and identity resolution for over 15 years. It's the fact that our technology works so well is demonstrating the fact that it works both for the sell side and simultaneously for the buy side. That's a very, big deal. Last year in May, there was an Art Exchanger article where Publicis, no less, was saying they tried different alternative ideas in the market, none of it worked. 2 months later, we came in and said, well, we actually provide, when we empower the sell side with partners like Gil and Start.io, we also provide the buy side with an end-to-end suite of solution that enables them to reach their target audience at a higher scale with more efficiently. And we showed, for example, that for a large education advertiser, we increased the number of leads, that's real people, by 80% more leads on one hand, while reducing the cost per lead by the other hand. So from where I'm sitting, the only way solution works if it works for both sides, the sell side and the buy side. Therefore, maybe it's not an accident that we won the best technology award in the market for 2 years in a row from Art Exchanger, most innovative technology platform from DigiDay, just to name a few.
Yeah, you're known. Intent IQ is known as a technology company, a technology provider. Just to make that clear for those that aren't as familiar within the ecosystem, just from where ATG and I are coming from. I want to pivot this next question specifically to Gil. So, Gil, as more publishers adopt identity solutions, what are key factors that help scale these solutions? And are there any pitfalls that people and companies should be avoiding?
There are definitely pitfalls. I will go to the programmatic industry. Okay, people have in mind saying programmatic that you connect the pipes or integrate it, you flip the switch and the light or waters are actually flowing and everything is done and you don't really need to do anything. And it's as far as possible from the universe. Right?
Yeah, we call that ad tech God.
Okay.
If you have AdTech God on your side, you're all set.
Right.
But the rest of us, Jeremy, you have to work hard.
You're making me believe it. And it's not the case. Okay. You need to really work with partners. You need to choose and pick your partners, and you need to work with partners on integration, and you need to work with partners when it doesn't work to actually make sure what doesn't really work. And we work with IntentIQ, the amazing technology team, but they are coming mainly from the web and cookies, and we are coming from the in-app. And we are coming and bringing to the table the consent and the advertising idea and the understanding of the in-app. And we work with them together with their understanding of the web to actually make sure that something is actually work well. So you need to really have both the technology, but also the team that really want to make sure that you have the white glove solution and you work together to make sure that things will work well. It's not easy for publisher to do it without some kind of intermediate company like us or like someone else to actually work with and do it.
So that leads us up to our next question perfectly, Gil. You just set us up. Essentially, can you help us talk about what makes such a successful publisher identity provider partnership of what you and IntentIQ have, what Start.io and IntentIQ have created together, and lessons that you can just share from the historical context?
Yeah. So we're not a young company, and when we're working with partners, we're trying to work with the long run. Okay. Comes all the way from auditors and lawyers and everyone else, including publishers, DSP, and more so technology partners. So when we look who is the right technology partner, we vetted many different companies. The team loved IntentIQ because we are a product technology company by definition in a way, and IntentIQ is very similar, so there was great bonding between the team. And when I realized that's what the team is actually want, I reached out to Roy to make sure that him and I are actually seeing things the same way. And I think we clicked and bond immediately because we have the same vision of how we need to operate. And there was never a question of, hey, were we doing the right things or not? We work together to try to solve everything possible. Okay, so I think really building the relationship with transparency together, understand that it's not click and done. It's actually a lot of work that need to be done. I think that's a significant part of it.
Roy, I see you nodding a lot as Gil was speaking. Do you want to add to that?
Yes. For publishers' sake, mobile app publishers in particular, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for you to partner with a company like Gil's, because because for this to work, it requires a lot of work. You need a partner like Gil and Start.io to sit down, to invest the time, invest in their technology, invest in the integration with IntentIQ. It's not just a slam dunk. You really have to put the work. And this is, by the way, this is an ongoing process to make sure that you're always in compliance. There's always a new state law that comes in, right? In the US, you enter new markets. It's crucial for you guys actually to have a partner like Start.io. That's actually one. And of course, as always, follow and being compliant with industry standards such as ED bridging, regulations. But the collaboration, having a great partner like Start.io is key.
Thank you, Roy. So, Gil, what do you see as the next big frontier when it comes to publisher monetization and identity solutions, and just what Start.io is going to be able to solve and enable over time?
So there are a few things. There are many things, but I'll talk about a couple of them which are more important. One of them is really being an omnichannel. You're looking on many of the agencies, looking on in-app and web and CTV is kind of a one bucket. So you need to make sure that you're connecting the dots and the user is the same user when you go across different platforms. So that's one thing which is extremely important. The other thing with being more anonymous and deprecation of cookies, yes or no, and deprecation of advertising ID, yes or no, and many changes in the industry, the ability to leverage on the first-party data that the publisher has about the users is critical. Okay? The better they'll do it, the better they will be able to compete with the Facebook and Google and the giant that actually have all this information. So I think that's important part of what they need to move forward with.
Roy, just in conclusion of this series, we just want to say thank you to Intent IQ. Any other parting words from you and your team?
Publisher, I would say we know that you're being challenged for years now. We would encourage you to get control of your future, put your future in your own hands by selecting the right partners that will help you. In the near future, in the coming year, I'd say look at curation. We mentioned identity. It enables you to combine your ad space with identity and help you get better margins. That'll be my departing words.
Thank you both for being here. And thank you again to Intent IQ for sponsoring this series. Roy, Gil, I really appreciate the time that you've set aside for us today.
Thank you. Appreciate the time as well.
Thank you, guys.